Your baby can't tell you when something you did hurt their feelings. No words, no sentences. No, that made me sad. Just a cry that starts a little too fast, or a stillness that goes on a little too long. But researchers have spent decades watching what happens in a baby's brain and body during ordinary moments, the ones that look completely harmless from the outside. A rushed diaper change, a joke at their expense, a phone held up between your face and theirs. None of these moments look like harm. That's exactly why they slip past us. Today, I'm going to walk you through 10 everyday things that quietly register as hurt to your baby, backed by real research, not guilt, and more importantly, what to do instead, starting today. Because once you can see it, you can change it, and that alone puts you ahead of where most parents even think to look. 1. Rushing through caregiving moments. Diaper changes, feeding, getting dressed. These feel like tasks to get through, but to your baby, they're some of the only one-on-one moments they get all day. Dr. Ed Tronick's research at the University of Massachusetts, Boston, found that babies are exquisitely tuned to the emotional tone of caregiving, not just the outcome of it. A diaper changed in silence, at high speed, with your face turned away, registers differently than the same diaper changed with eye contact and a few soft words, even though the diaper ends up equally clean either way. You don't need to slow your whole day down. Just try narrating one caregiving task today. Like, okay, we're getting your arm through here. Like your baby is actually in the conversation. Because of their nervous system, they are. 2. Laughing at their frustration or fear. It's not meant unkindly. Your toddler face plants over nothing, or your baby startles at the vacuum, and it's genuinely funny. The faces they make are hilarious. But here's what's happening underneath. Your child is scanning your face for what's called social referencing, a term from developmental psychologist Mary Ainsworth's early attachment research, to figure out whether they're safe. If your response to their fear is laughter, the message that lands isn't, "That was silly," it's, "My feelings don't matter here." You can still enjoy the moment, just enjoy it after you've checked in, a hand on their back, "You're okay," and then you're both allowed to laugh together. 3. Comparing them to other kids, even as a joke. Why can't you sit still like your sister? Your cousin was walking by now. Said lightly, said in passing, said without any real venom behind it. Research from developmental psychologist Eleanor Maccabee found that children as young as 2 are already forming a sense of self, partly through how they believe they measure up to others in their caregiver's eyes. A comparison doesn't need to be harsh to land as a verdict. The fix isn't complicated. Describe what you see in front of you. You're working hard on that, instead of, "Your brother could already do this." Specific and present beats comparative every time. 4. Interrupting play to test or quiz them. What color is this? Can you say cat? It feels like enrichment. It usually comes from love and a genuine wish to help them learn. But child psychologist Alison Gopnik's work on early learning suggests that unprompted, open-ended play is where the deepest learning actually happens. And when it's repeatedly interrupted with quizzing, children can start to associate a parent's attention with performance rather than connection. Try this instead. Narrate what they're doing rather than testing what they know. You stacked the red one on top, teaches just as much language without turning play into an exam. 5. Checking your phone mid-interaction. This one's hard to hear because almost every parent does it, checking a text while your baby is mid-babble, mid-reach, mid-trying to show you something. Dr. Tronick's famous still face experiments showed something striking. Even brief, repeated disengagement from a caregiver's face, the kind that happens during a quick scroll, can produce visible distress in infants within seconds. Not because a phone check is abusive, because babies are built to read faces as their primary source of safety information, and a blank or turned away face reads as gone, even for a moment. You don't need to use your phone. Just try finishing the moment your baby started before you start yours. The message they get is, "I see you," and that message compounds over thousands of small repetitions. 6. Dismissing small fears. It's just a vacuum. It's just dark. There's nothing to be scared of. said to reassure, but landing as dismissal. Pediatric researcher Dr. Daniel Siegel's work on emotional attunement points to something counterintuitive. Naming and validating a fear actually calms a child's nervous system faster than logic does. A toddler's brain isn't yet built to reason its way out of fear. The amygdala fires first. Language catches up later. Try leading with the feeling before the fact. That sound is loud, huh? I've got you. Before, it's just the vacuum. Validation isn't the same as agreeing the fear is rational. It's just proof you're paying attention to their experience, not just the facts of the situation. 7. Using shame as a shortcut to compliance. Big kids don't cry like that. Only babies act this way. It works at the moment. Shame is a fast, effective way to stop a behavior, but research from psychologist June Tangney, who has spent decades studying shame versus guilt in child development, shows that shame targets identity, I am bad, while guilt targets behavior, that thing I did was not okay, and only one of those is workable for growth. Shame tends to produce more of the behavior it's meant to stop, just hidden better. A steadier alternative, name the behavior, not the child. Hitting hurts. We don't do that. Keeps the correction aimed at the action and leaves their sense of self intact. 8. Forcing affection. Give grandma a hug. It seems like basic manners, politeness training, but to your child, their body is the one place they should always get to say no. Child safety researchers, including work cited by the Committee for Children, creators of the Second Step program, point out that requiring physical affection on demand can quietly teach children that their bodily boundaries are negotiable when an adult wants otherwise, a lesson that becomes far more important and far more risky later in childhood. You can keep the warmth without the mandate. Offer a choice. Wave, blow a kiss, or hug. Your pick. And let grandma get a wave today. Consent modeled at 3 sets the foundation for boundaries that matter far more at 13. 9. Correcting them in front of others. A public correction, at the park, at a birthday party, in front of family, feels efficient. Everyone's already watching, might as well address it now. But developmental research on shame and social exposure suggests that public correction adds a second layer of distress on top of whatever the original issue was. Not just, I did something wrong, but everyone saw me do something wrong. For children whose sense of self is still forming through others' eyes, that combination lands hard. Where you can, pull them aside, even just a step back, a lower voice, a hand on their shoulder, so the correction stays between the two of you. The lesson lands the same. The exposure doesn't. 10. Withholding affection as a consequence. The cold shoulder. The I don't want to talk to you right now. It can feel like the only tool left when nothing else has worked. But attachment research consistently shows that a caregiver's warmth is what a child's nervous system relies on to feel safe enough to actually learn from a mistake. Withdrawing that warmth, and you don't get a better lesson. You get a child in survival mode, focused on reconnecting with you rather than reflecting on what happened. Consequences can absolutely still exist, but try pairing them with connection, not instead of. You're still not allowed to do that. And I still love you, said in the same breath. That combination is what actually teaches. None of these 10 things make you a bad parent. If anything, reading this far makes you exactly the kind of parent who's paying attention, which is the single biggest predictor of a securely attached child, more than any parenting technique on this list. You don't need to fix all 10 today. Pick one. Notice it this week. That's how real change happens, not through guilt, but through awareness, one ordinary moment at a time.